Greetings, our beloved viewers. My name is Jimmy Hanks, and it's a pleasure having you all on the Holydrive show. And tonight I'll be speaking to the former leader of opposition, member of parliament representing women of Gulu, a lady that has served this nation in different capacities, a mother to many. She shook the parliament in her time when she was leader of opposition. And today I'll be speaking to her. I want to know more about her. How has God been part of her journey? At the end of the day, who has been the man behind her success? But first, I'll take a small break and I'll be right back with a guest. It's my profound honor to have you. You're welcome, Honorable, on the Holydrive.
Well, thank you very much, Jimmy. I'm happy to be with you here. You have ably introduced me, but my maiden name is Aol.
Aol.
You know, most names in Acholi sub-region for women starts with A.
Oh.
For men with O. The Ochan is my late husband's name.
Oh.
So Aol, Betty, Ochan.
Chan.
Yes.
Wow. Actually, I didn't know about your middle name until of recent. I didn't know it was that significant in your life.
Aol, that surname is actually a third follower of twins.
Oh.
Yes, and it's the last one. So the Aol is almost like I am tired. If it's a man, Ola. If it's a woman, Aol. Aol means that is now the last. The special cycle of children is tired now.
Wow.
So I am called Aol.
Wow.
It's a beautiful name.
Surely it's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
You're always a jolly lady. You're always smiling. And wasn't when you're not happy. All the time you're always smiling, you're always jolly.
You know, when I was young,
Yes.
in especially secondary school, I was a girl guide. And once you are initiated to something, sometimes you remain there forever. I was a girl guide, and for one of the rule of a girl guide is you have to smile under all difficulties. Even when you are in difficulties, you smile. And this smile will always push you. You will always move on.
Wow.
So I was a girl guide. And I think I was brought up in a family which was very lovely. My grandmother, who produced only my mother was her firstborn and lastborn, took on to us as her own children. She brought us up. She was a very loving grandmother called Unia Attack. She would tell us a lot of stories. She wanted us to be humble because her home was reasonably a well-off home compared to the neighboring homes. Very many people would come to do some labor in our home. So she didn't want us to be arrogant because of our situation. She wanted us to be very humble because she would always tell us humility will always make you succeed and move you up. So she was very lovely. She would tell us a lot of stories about being accommodative to each other.
Wow.
She was very hardworking, even if she had only a child. And she had very many people in her home. And she would always tell us that loving people is the best.
Surely.
There is nothing as good as people. That a human being is better than these worldly things that we get in the world. So if you can contribute something to especially the vulnerable, it is the best. For her, she would even accommodate people who were badly off. So this was not only in my home. As I went also to primary, I went through mainly Catholic schools. And then to secondary, I became a girl guide, a young Christian society leader. And in primary, I used to even perform very well in religious competition because I did my primary in Padibe Girls, and sometimes they would subject us to religious competition. And these religious ideas actually can nurture people well. So that is also where I got some improvement in my character. In secondary, mainly in Sacred Heart, I began to love sacrificing. And we grew up. I am fifth born. My follower is sixth born, but first boy. So whenever we admire any of these things, especially the shirts, we went to Laibi College and Yamato shirts. So he would give us very willingly, sacrificing. Oh, you love this torch. Okay, take it. So giving and helping the vulnerable,
Surely.
sacrificing. And as a young Christian society leader, member, we would also go out to support the vulnerable. Also as a girl guide, doing also good time. So that made me to love voluntary work. So I became a teacher. My first school of teaching was Laibi College, also a Catholic founded school. And we continue in that direction, helping. And that is where I started life also with my late husband.
Awesome.
He was young, I was young, we were all young, but in a boys' school, I was a little younger than him. So in that school, and I was the only woman, but I want to tell you that the head teacher then was Father Connor, respected me very much and gave a lot of consideration to me. My subjects were few. According to him, I was a mother, and as a mother, I needed to also attend to my domestic work, so the men should not compete with me. The men would have about 40 lessons. 40 lessons in a week. But I would have like maybe 10 lessons. I remember I used to have 11 lessons in a week because he said, this is a mother. She has a baby. She has to attend to baby. She has to attend to domestic work. So I could see that Father Connor had a heart for people. So that heart should also be taken by most of us if we always feel for people that you put your shoes, you put your feet into somebody's shoes so that you feel also if it is hot, the hotness that person is in. If it is cool, then you are together. So that is how I have been working. And after teaching, I went to also work with civil society, with an NGO called Accord. And in Accord, our work was really rural. It was rural development with the rural communities. And you know the communities of Gulu was a very difficult communities because of the war. So we would move. People showed me a lot of love. You see, even when you go, they know you are working for salaries, they would cook, they would try to present to us the rural development workers of Accord. They give you like 2 basin full of ginads, you carry out, you cook. Then we would always tell them, please don't struggle. For us, we are paid up people. We come to you to see that your life is better. But your life is better. We are not bringing, we want together with you to plan and see to it that you move from probably bad to a little better. If you have to stop a bit, then you mark time there, but you don't retract. You don't go backwards. You need to keep moving forward. And in trying to move forward, you can never run away from saving the little that you have. You should always have some savings, because we are dealing with very, very poor community, and also community which was very gender insensitive, and community which was also was actually getting affected with HIV/AIDS. You know, this war brought HIV/AIDS into our communities, into Acholi sub-region. Problems. But some of the problems are really with us women, because a woman would prefer to work with her daughters at home, not to send to schools, not knowing that at the end of it all, you have not helped to exploit the potential of that girl. So we would find women digging with the girl children, and the boy children were in schools. Then after, we would gather them, the mothers, the fathers together, and dialogue. And they started seeing the value of also education. Some of the villages, deep villages, did not know that education was important. So that was where I got also a lot of love. So I want to say that God has always been with me. First, God gave me very good parents. I grew up in very good family. Then when I became a mother myself, I also had a very wonderful family with my late husband. We were all teachers, and we also took care of very many people. Why did we take care of very many people, very many children? My husband was accommodative. If he was not accommodative, we would not. I was accommodative. If I was not, we would not. Of
course, it was teamwork.
So it was teamwork. We brought up many children in our family. Very many people would think that was a mini school or what, but it was a family. Wow. And we would squeeze ourselves in the small family to fit. It's just like to say in Uganda here, if we take the issue of love more, Uganda is enough for all of us. And we take in the constitution and the laws of the country, we would all fit in Uganda without, fighting each other, without pointing guns at each other, and trying our best to see that families get to know that it's good to raise up your children and give them characters at early stage. When they go to schools, they are already good children with something already in the back of their minds. You have already laid a good foundation. And when they go to churches, it is actually to continuously refine what has been given at that tender age. So at the tender age, I had the best, and that was a good foundation. A foundation of love for people, a foundation of teamwork, working together, a foundation of humility, a foundation of being transparent. What my grandmother used to do was, there was this coin. Money was coin in the in the 70s and in the late 60s coin. So my grandmother would even throw a coin anyhow. You have to pick and give her. Granny, I got this money here. So every time she really protected us. She said, my children are not thieves because I have tested them as they grow up.
Wow.
Yeah. She was, I would call her a professor who never went to school because she had stories. If you were beaten for something wrong and you cry for long, she can bring up a story to brighten your what, your situation.
Wow.
Eh?
I think that's where you picked the smile from.
Yeah.
So, Honorable, how did you finally emerge out from such a background? You rise through the ranks to the level where you are today.
Just like I told you, I know that it is not my wish, my wishful thinking can never come true. That people loved me so much in the communities when I moved out to do this rural development work. To the extent that when this war of northern part of Uganda intensified, we were looking for all ways. I participated in very many peace building process. I remember when Kachokema did wanted a grassroots woman, somebody from the ground there, to be sent to Kachokema did to UK. We also came together, and this was from Acholi sub-region. We had Gulu district, then we had Kitgum, I think Kitgum district. We came together, very, very many women. I think over 500 women. To get one woman.
One.
Can you imagine that this one woman, the Lord felt on me?
Wow.
Then
that was favor.
You wonder, you just say, why me?
I know.
So when the Lord fell on me, unfortunately I could not even go because that time my MP was called also Betty, Betty Akechukulu. She decided to block my way because she saw that I was rising. Yeah. And this, my question, my issue to people is that we should not block people who are coming up. So
there's enough space for all of us at the top.
The space is enough for all of us. Probably if she had allowed me to go, maybe I would have ended up not disturbing her. So I disturbed her.
She provoked you.
to disturb her. So that, to be elected like that was already good enough. So our emphasis was, let women also come up in leadership position. That time I'd already served as RC. You remember RC? RC Resistance Council. I was RC 1 in my library B sub-ward in Gulu Municipal then. In the early 90s, I served there, and that time even there was a rationing of sugar. Some of these essential commodities were actually given in ratio. So I was the general secretary. Then later in the camps, I was vice chair. I was vice chair of, I think that camp was in golf course, in Gulu golf course. And whenever the people who wanted to come and get some food ratio, whenever they saw me, they would all be filled with a lot of joy. But if I were not there, then people would sometimes go back empty-handed. The bad thing is that sometimes we don't care so much about the ordinary person. It is always good to care about the ordinary person. If you sell off beans which should be distributed to the ordinary person, you are caring for your pocket and not caring for what this ordinary person should go and eat. So we had people who would sell off food which should be distributed. But if I were there, I would say no, no selling of this food. This food is meant to go and serve our people. These are people with children. Let them get the food. I would make sure I supervise the distribution of the food properly. When food is getting finished, and also they see that, but you have not yet received yours, you should also receive yours, because they know I also have my children. So I would be one of the last to receive mine, but no selling whenever I was there. Say, no, this selling is selfish. So selflessness was a character I built in the time of war, that just look at that elderly woman who is here to get something and you want to sell off. So people pray a lot for me. Up to now, people pray for me. I have people who pray for me. Why do they pray? They pray, I give something small, say, oh, God should bless you. Just like I told you I was from Logogo. Logogo, I went to check on our young people, the young boys who came from Gulu to play boxing. Yeah, sometimes I follow my people. If I am able to, I follow them up.
That's very
And
cool.
I tell them that I am coming to check on you. Why do I follow them? Because I am a servant leader. I have to follow them, to go and encourage them, tell them, yes, we follow you with the prayers. You know you will do this well. Please take heart, be strong. Don't drink. One of the things I don't like is people who go drinking too much.
I know.
Drinking alcohol is spoiling our young people. So if our young people are for sports, then I know they are not drinking. And whenever I can do anything for them, I will try my best.
Wow.
But what I may not be able to do, I tell you, this is beyond me. I want to help you, but I don't have. So that is how people love me. I want to tell you that I move on because of prayer for people.
How did you finally emerge out from such a background, you rise through the ranks to the level where you are today?
Just like I told you, I know that it is not my wish, my wishful thinking can never come true. That people loved me so much in the communities when I moved out to do this rural development work. To the extent that when this war of northern part of Uganda intensified, we were looking for all ways. I participated in very many peace building process. I remember when Kachokema did wanted a grassroots woman, somebody from the ground there, to be sent to Kachokema did to UK. We also came together, and this was from Acholi sub-region. We had Gulu district, then we had Kitgum, I think Kitgum district. We came together, very, very many women. I think over 500 women. To get one woman.
One.
Can you imagine that this one woman, the Lord felt on me?
Wow.
Then
that was favor.
You wonder, you just say, why me?
I know.
So when the Lord fell on me, unfortunately, I could not even go because that time my MP was called also Betty, Betty Akechukulu. She decided to block my way because she saw that I was rising.
Rising.
Yeah. And this, my question, my issue to people is that we should not block people who are coming up.
There's
So
enough space for all of us at the
yeah,
top.
the space is enough for
It's
all
enough.
of us. Probably if she had allowed me to go, maybe I would have ended up not disturbing her. So I disturbed her.
She provoked you.
To disturb her. So we are moving on. And the people are so grateful. And they keep praying for me. I believe, I really believe the prayers of the people have done for me a lot of miracles. And I always say, let us have hearts for people. Let us have big hearts. I know I work very closely with Honorable Bahati. He is in that side of government. He is a minister. If all ministers work like Bahati, I think our place, our Uganda, would be a better place to live in.
Surely.
He works, he makes sure he also stays in parliament, he makes sure that he is really for God, and he tries his best. This is what we have to do. Not that we are perfect. We are not. Even me, I'm not perfect. Every morning I should ask God to lead me. In the evening I should ask for forgiveness where I could have gone wrong. Sometimes we do wrong things without knowing. But if we feel that we are servant leaders, then we try our best to serve the very people who have sent us here. If you see a triangle has a base. And then you go like that, you have apex. As you go up high, you focus on that up. That is where we have very, very, very small number of people. The population is here. Our focus should be at the base, where we have the ordinary person, the ordinary people, the majority of people. What are we doing best to serve these people, to let them have a better living? This world is not our home.
We are just
passing through. So if we are just passing through, when we are living here, we should have the basic needs of life. Do we have? The luxury should be secondary.
True.
But the basic should be for all.
Wow.
How can we make the basic be there for all?
That's very true.
That is always my appeal to all of us who have been sent to this parliament. People who have sent us believing in us, making sure that we are going to speak for them. But sometimes you see the focus of some other people is on the apex only.
Not
for
the
the
lowest
not
person.
on the ordinary. And on the apex for their pockets. Also in parliament, if we only focus at the apex, at the apex we should focus to let them know that all of us have been elected by this ordinary person to serve them. So we are all servant leaders. I heard sometime President said he was not a servant leader. That's not right. He is. Because we are all servants. We are all servants. We have all to serve people.
Wow.
That he is only a servant of his family.
Wow.
I think that was a wrong philosophy.
Yeah, I've really learned a lot. Thank you for sharing that amazing history about you. I believe people know about this, and I believe at the end of the show, people will have known more about Honorable Betty Ocan'S. I've learned a lot from your story. One, to be humble. Two, to be a servant. You know, some people, when they reach at your level, they feel like they have arrived. But it's very good to always remember that at the end of the day, it's all about God, and it's God who has put you there, and you're there to serve the people. And that brings us to the end of our first episode with Honorable Betty Ocan'S. It's been a pleasure having you all on the Holydrive Show. Follow us on different handles, the Holydrive Show. We catch up in episode 2. Stay tuned. Big ups to Tyson and the entire team that has been working closely to see this show airs. Shalom, shalom.